In October 2023, Hamas, which is controlling Gaza since 2006, launched a surprise attack on Israel. They fired rockets, attacked southern part of Israel, causing many casualties and taking hostages. Following this, Israelis retaliated and officially declared war on Hamas on October 8. The defense minister then ordered the IDF to fully blockade Gaza. No water, no electricity, no internet for anyone, and the city is on the brink of the human catastrophe. But what is the historical context of the conflict between Israel and Palestine? At the end of the 19th century, the Israeli and Palestinian conflict began, aiming to create separate Arab and Jewish nations within the British Mandate of Palestine. Resolution 181, often known as the Partition Plan, was adopted by the United Nations in 1947. The first Arab-Israeli war began on May 14, 1948, with the establishment of the State of Israel. Israeli victory brought an end to the conflict in 1949, but 750,000 Palestinians were forced from their homes, and the region was split into the State of Israel, the West Bank, and the Gaza Strip. In the years that followed, tensions in the region increased, especially between Israel, Egypt, Jordan, and Syria. In preparation for a potential Israeli army mobilization, Egypt, Jordan, and Syria signed mutual defense pact during the 1956 Suez Crisis and Israel's invasion of Sinai Peninsula. The Six-Day War began in June 1967 when Israel launched a preemptive strike against Syrian and Egyptian air forces in response to a series of maneuvers by Egyptian President Abdel Jamal Nasser. After the war, Israel seized control of the Golan Heights from Syria, the West Bank and East Jerusalem from Jordan, the Sinai Peninsula and Gaza Strip from Egypt. 6 years after the prior event, Egypt and Syria attacked Israel in the Yom Kippur War. While there were no major territorial gains, it led to negotiations and the 1979 Camp David Accords peace treaty between Egypt and Israel. The Camp David Accords improved Israeli ties with its neighbor, but it did not resolve Palestinian self-governance issues. In 1987, Palestinians protested against Israel in the First Intifada. The 1993 Oslo Accords helped manage this, promoting Palestinian self-rule and mutual recognition with Israel. The 1995 Oslo Second Accords further required Israel to leave several West Bank areas, which never happened until today. Therefore, the compromise made by the Palestinian Authority, which recognized the reality of Israel, did not receive a favorable reaction, which is likely why in 2006 Hamas won the Palestinian elections and removed Fatah Party and taking over the control of Gaza Strip. Many Western governments, including the United States of America and European Union countries, did not recognize the win due to the viewing Hamas as a terrorist group. But what is Hamas? Hamas is a Palestinian group founded in the 1980s, linked to the Egyptian Muslim Brotherhood. It fights against Israeli occupation and governs more than 2 million Palestinians in the Gaza Strip and is considered one of the 2 major political parties in the Palestinian territories. Its funds come from countries like Iran, Qatar, private donors, local taxes in Gaza, smuggling, and ties with other regional groups. We have to understand that Hamas' relationship with Iran had many ups and downs, and this organization does not necessarily agree with Iran's Islamic Republic's revolutionary doctrine. They have also publicly said that they would not carry out Iranian foreign policy in the Middle East region. In summer 2014, Israeli forces and Hamas clashed, with Hamas firing 3,000 rockets at Israel and Israelis launching a major attack in Gaza. This ended in August 2014 with a ceasefire after 73 Israelis and more than 2,000 Palestinians died. In 2015, following further violence, Palestinian President Abbas stated that Palestinians would not follow the Oslo Accords territorial guideline, which in fact has never been in place. In May 2018, intense fighting occurred between Hamas and the IDF. Gaza militants fired more than 100 rockets at Israel, which retaliated by striking over 50 Gaza targets within a day before a ceasefire was reached. When Donald Trump came to the office, he prioritized the Israeli and Palestinian deal. In 2018, the funding of the UN agency which held Palestinian refugees was stopped, and the US Embassy was moved from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, changing the long-standing US stance. This, of course, pleased Israeli leaders, but faced criticism from Palestinians and other Arab nations. Israel views Jerusalem as its undivided capital, while Palestine sees East Jerusalem as the future capital. In 2020, Trump's Peace to Prosperity plan, favoring Israeli control over the West Bank settlements and undivided Jerusalem, was rejected by Palestine. In 2020, the UAE and Bahrain become the third and fourth regional countries to establish relations with Israel after Egypt in 1979 and Jordan in 1994 under the Abraham Accords. These accords followed US-led talks in Warsaw about Middle East peace over a year earlier. However, Palestinian leaders, including Mahmoud Abbas and Hamas, opposed them. On October 7, 2023, Israel was the target of a surprise Hamas strike that resulted in the deaths of over 1,000 people. President Joe Biden gave a resounding pro-Israeli declaration on the same day that Israel opened war on Hamas. President Netanyahu promised that the war would change the region's geopolitical landscape. According to the most recent information, and only during this conflict, more than 1,200 Israelis have died and more than 2,800 have been injured, while over 1,000 Palestinians have died and 5,000 have been injured. We can now see that the war has been spreading to neighboring countries like Syria and Lebanon, both of which are Iranian allies. Now, if Iran joins the war, things might get extremely out of control, and no one knows how far this will go. But who is benefiting from this war? The United States of America will not benefit from the conflict since it will completely obstruct efforts to normalize relationship between Israel and its Arab neighbors. Numerous Arab countries have already expressed displeasure at Israelis' attack on Gaza, although cautiously. Russia would probably benefit from the situation, since the world's attention toward the whole conflict has already turned to the other side of the globe. Iran would likely gain as well, demonstrating its capacity to use proxies to attack its enemies once again. The Palestinians will definitely grow a lot of confidence over time, since they could never have imagined breaking through the Israelis' defensive structure. Israel currently has the go-ahead to invade the Gaza Strip and destroy Hamas. But it cannot be a permanent victory, since whether Hamas or the others will continue to operate underground until we emerge. Despite Hamas' inexcusable actions, the truth is Netanyahu has long denied Palestinians their rights and statehood chances. He even appeared to favor Hamas over the Palestinian Authority while seeking ties with Arab countries. This approach has now backfired on him. The bottom line is that in order to bring stability back to the Middle East region, we have to stand behind a reasonable and rational agreement that is based on respect for all sides and on justice, rather than on bias and double standard. We have to understand that in this particular case, fighting terrorism is not the only way to guarantee security. However, establishing a Palestinian state appears to be the most ensured way to bring about peace in Israel and Palestine, as waging war will not provide security in the long term.